But let's get
Sure.
to the topic on hand today. We have decided to speak on living with uncertainty. That's a relevant topic considering the scenario that we are facing as individuals and as professionals. I have a lot of uh, insecurity regarding what's going to happen in the near future. What's your scene? What's the state of your mind as far as the uncertainty we are facing as of right now?
Okay, so the way I look at it, Bunty, is long before COVID came upon us and the kind of lockdown that we've been enforced pretty much the world over. I would like to believe at some level as human beings, we subconsciously do come to accept uncertainty in our everyday lives. We
Mhm.
don't realize it. Uh, I mean, whether it is going to work in the morning, getting into the car, hoping that you don't have any incidents on the way, or going shopping, or taking the bus or the train or whatever.
Mhm.
There is a lot of uncertainty from the time you start to do something or achieve something to the time it is actually done. So that is one, and I think where I am right now, I think we are 8 weeks into lockdown now, and honestly, it hasn't affected me that much because, like I've said in the past, I've been self-employed. It will be 11 years this September, so my interaction on a daily level with other people is not much. But what really bothers me as far as uncertainty goes is when I will get to meet my parents. They
Mm.
are in Bombay. My sister lives with them, and that's what probably is my number one priority because I believe everything else can be managed. You know, whether it's a business or work, things do fall in place. But I think people are not going to be around forever, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So that's the uncertainty and fear that I live with every day. That I want to see them sooner than later, uh, Bunty.
So uh, are we saying that the thing that we do not have is the thing that we which makes us uncertain about these things? Um, for example, I
E-
am with my parents. I am with my loved ones. Um, and when I hear you speak about business will fall in place. I had actually had a smile on my face, thinking, "Oh, that sounds confident. I am not so sure how things are going to pan out in the next few months." But listening to you, I was like, "Okay, but what she's talking about, that doesn't seem to be a big deal. I'm with my family. It doesn't seem really a great deal." So is it this that we we do not we do not care about what we have on hand, but we are certainly um, worried about what we do not have or what we perceive as missing in our lives. What do you think about it?
yeah, that is what I would say. Say, for example, like you said, you are staying with your family, so your focus would be what's going to happen to my livelihood. I'm not saying I'm not worried about my livelihood. I'm
Yeah.
doing everything possible to reestablish my business or try to give it a different perspective if and when things become normal. And I'm also studying to be a counselor, so that takes away a lot of time. So yes, I am keeping myself busy and productive, whatever that is. But for me, the overriding factor is that I'm not able to be with my parents. You know, things that we would take granted for earlier in the earlier times. Just take a flight and go and meet people. You're not able to do that, and that is extremely frustrating. So yes, it is what you don't have vis-a-vis what you already have, which is very apparent right
Hmm.
now.
Hmm. You want to talk a little bit about why are you missing your parents in particular as of right now? Is there any particular reason, or is it just the fact Would you want to contemplate a bit about the reason? Is it because it's not allowed it has become important, or is it that you really miss them? If if you understand what my question is pointing towards.
I I do. I will have at least more than one answer, as always. Um, firstly, I haven't seen them after January of 2019. Uh, we had plans to go for a holiday uh, in April with my family to spend some time with both sets of the families, etc. And it was one of the first times that we actually planned this holiday way back in December, booking tickets and doing all those bits. Uh, but with all that has happened, I'm not able to meet them. Things that I probably took for granted in terms of doing what I wanted to do, I'm not able to do that anymore. And this aspect is what uh, bothers me the most. I mean, I've always uh, tried to make a trip to Bombay at least once a year, spend time with them or get them over here. uh, what is killing me is the fact that I don't know when I will see them. You get me? It's like I don't know when I will get to see them again. Uh, for
Yeah,
me,
that's quite deep.
that's yeah. I
I
mean, when
don't know. Yeah,
yeah.
please
Sorry,
continue.
no, you go on, but
No, no, I was reiterating to myself. I don't know, and it suddenly seems so powerful in terms of realizing the impact of those words. I've said those words and often enough, and I'm sure you have. When you said them and you
yeah,
said the context.
yeah. I mean, I have never been a very I don't know if I am trying to find the right words here. I'm not somebody who calls people every day. I'm not active on WhatsApp groups, or I'm not even on Facebook and stuff like that. I'm not very social in the sense that I don't make any effort to keep in touch with people, which I know sounds really bad. That's also probably because there are this bunch of people I know in my life, and we just pick up things from wherever we left the last time. And to some extent, it has been like that with my family as well. I mean, I do speak to them, but now I try and call them every day. There are video calls, and every time I say bye to them, I say that with a lot of heaviness in my heart because
Mhm.
I just hope, next day when I wake up, they are healthy, I am healthy, and I still get to see their smiling faces. So, so for me, that's the most uncertain part of things, being in the midst of COVID-19, Bunty.
Yeah, I'm thinking actually, it's it's something that one is alien to one. One has access to the family as I have. Um, it's interesting because I today happens to be we lost my dad. I lost my dad last year, and today was the first year function in a manner. There's still some time to go, but according to some religious tradition, we did
Yeah,
the function today, and I was thinking about my dad. Um, he had Alzheimer's, and it was quite unpredictable. The last 2 years of his life, we really didn't know what to expect, and one of the things, well, in hindsight, when one looks at it, it's very good to say a name like Alzheimer's or a condition, or you club things and say this was the experience. But the experiences are quite varied, and each episode has its ups and downs. And um, so one of the things in my head today was uh, how did we deal with it as a family when we did not have a proper roadmap. Why I
yeah,
bring this up is because you just said every time you hang up your phone with with your family, and you're always thinking, I hope everything will be all right. I think at that point of time, sometimes uh, what was killing was this very fact that we did not know when. Some days you really wanted it to end, and some days you were afraid that it would end. I think the insecurity of not knowing what you wanted, not knowing what would really happen, would it happen in the gamut of choices that you gave it. If you wanted to, finish off with it and say, okay, this is enough, I can't deal with this anymore. But what can you not deal with? Actually, is the uncertainty part of it. Can 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 you dig a little deeper again, if I may say so, because this is moving into an area of uh, that resonates, and even I am uncertain about where this is leading in terms of when you hang up, and if you had to look at your state of mind and describe it, uh, what is the obviously the primary fear is survival, but why suddenly why what are we basing this fear on? This fear of uncertainty about survival. Why now of all the times?